Can anyone please unmute yourself and please let me know whether my slide is visible or not and whether I am audible
Yes.
or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
am I audible?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
thank you. So before starting the today's class, I will give you a brief review of what we have did in the last class. If you remember or if you have seen my recorded lectures earlier, then you might have seen that I have started with this module called friction. In the last lecture, I have defined what is a friction. We all know that friction is nothing but a resistance force which is applied to any body in order to prevent the motion of that body. So I have discussed that what is friction, how friction work in any body. With the help of example, I have explained how that work, and then I have discussed different types of friction. I have discussed about the static friction, limiting friction, dynamic friction, or kinetic friction. Then I have discussed about the sliding friction as well as the rolling friction. One more type of friction is there which was left to discuss in the last class, so that I am discussing in today's class, that is the fluid friction. What is this fluid friction? Fluid friction is that type of friction which exists between the two contacting surfaces. That means insert when you insert a fluid between the two contacting surfaces which are in motion, then the friction exerted by that body is known as fluid friction. The very best example is, I think all of you have seen a grill in your house. All of you have seen a grill. फाइन. तो ग्रिल में क्या होता है, जब आप ग्रिल को आप बंद करते हो खोलते हो तो उसमें क्या होता है, नीचे रोलर लगा हुआ रहता है, रोलर के वजह से ग्रिल आगे पीछे मूव होता है. कभी कभी क्या होता है, वो ग्रिल जाम हो जाता है. जाम क्यों होता है, रोलर मूव नहीं करता है. तो आप क्या करते हो, उस ग्रिल को मूव कराने के लिए आप क्या करते हो, आप रोलर और जो सरफेस है जिसपे कि रोलर टच है, वहां पे आप क्या करते हो, आप ऑयल यूज करते हो. आप बालों में जो तेल लगाते हो वो तेल यूज करते हो, या कुछ एक ऑयल यूज करते हो. दैट ऑयल इज व्हाट, दैट ऑयल इज नथिंग बट इट सर्व्स द पर्पस ऑफ लुब्रिकेशन. वो लुब्रिकेशन का पर्पस सर्व करता है. उससे क्या होगा, जो कॉन्टैक्टिंग सरफेस है, दैट इज द कॉन्टैक्टिंग सरफेस बिटवीन द रोलर ऑफ द ग्रिल एंड द सरफेस ऑन विच इट इज मूविंग, वो सरफेस आपका थोड़ा सा स्मूथ हो जाता है. और जैसे ही सरफेस स्मूथ हो गया, then you can easily pull and push the grill. Are you getting my point? This is nothing but the very best and good example of fluid friction. Any doubt? कोई डाउट है किसी को? हेलो.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Fine. Okay, so this is about fluid friction. With this we have came to an end for the different types of friction. Basically, the different types of friction are static friction, limiting friction, dynamic friction, sliding friction, rolling friction. All these five friction types I have discussed in the last class. And in today's class, I am talking about the fluid friction. That is the sixth type is your fluid friction. Next is the different laws of friction. I think already you have studied these laws in your class 11th physics. So we will just recap those laws. What is the first law? The first law is the total friction that can be developed is independent of the magnitude of area in contact. That means friction which exists, it is not, for example, if I consider the case of a body, say this is a body which is kept on a rough surface, which is kept on a rough surface, then according to the first law, it is not necessary that friction will only act between the contact point of the two surfaces. Since the surface is rough, friction is present here also, friction is present here also, friction is present here also. That means the frictional force is independent of the magnitude of area in contact. Any doubt? Any doubt so far? कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, sir. No, no.
Okay. Next point is the second law of friction is the total friction that can be developed is proportional to the normal force transmitted across the surface of contact. That means if I am having a body, say this is my body, this body is kept on a rough surface. This is the rough surface. That means there exists a friction between the contacting surfaces of the body and this rough surface. If I draw the free body diagram of this body, then say the weight of the body is W, acting vertically downward from the center of gravity. Since this body is in contact with this rough surface will exert a normal reaction to this body in the vertically upward direction. Say that normal reaction is N. Fine. And since the surface is rough, there exists a friction. There exists friction between the contacting surfaces of the body and the rough surface. And if I assume, or say if I assume that this body is moving in this direction, then I know that frictional force always act in the opposite direction to that of the direction of motion of the body. Then the frictional force will act where? It will act at the point of contact of this body and this rough surface in this direction. This is your frictional force, capital F. Then according to the second law, this frictional force, capital F, is directly proportional to the normal reaction which the rough surface exerts on the body. Now if you want to replace this proportionality sign by equality sign, you have to insert a constant, and that constant is nothing but mu. Finally your equation becomes F is equal to mu into N. And mu is what? Mu is a constant of proportionality and it is known as coefficient of friction. It is known as coefficient of friction. This is the second law. Any doubt? कोई doubt है किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir, not at all.
Okay. Electrical people, you also please respond. If you are having any doubt, अगर कोई doubt है, then I will again repeat. क्या कोई doubt है अभी तक?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine. Very good. Next, third law. Because you have to remember these laws while solving the problem. So that's why I'm discussing these laws. Third law is what? The limiting friction. Limiting friction depend upon the nature of the surface in contact. Nature of the surface, that means what is the nature of the surface? Surface can be a rough in nature, surface can be smooth in nature. If surface is smooth in nature, definitely no friction will exist. If the surface is rough in nature, then only the friction will exist. And what is limiting friction? Limiting friction is that value of frictional force after the at which the body tends to move. लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन वो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स होता है जिसको कि आप बॉडी पे लगाओगे तो बॉडी मूव करेगा. जब तक आप लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन बॉडी पे नहीं लगाओगे, बॉडी विल बी इन स्टैटिक कंडीशन. अगर बॉडी स्टैटिक कंडीशन में है, कोई फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स एक्ट नहीं होगा. जैसे ही आपने लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स अप्लाई किया, बॉडी क्या हुआ? बॉडी टेंड्स टू मूव. दैट मीन्स वो मूव कंडीशन के मूव होने के पोजीशन पे आ जाएगा. एट दैट टाइम द फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स एग्जिस्ट इन द बॉडी इज नोन एज लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन. सो दिस लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन डिपेंड्स अपॉन द नेचर ऑफ surface in nature of the surface which is in contact. That means if I am having a body and if that body is placed in a horizontal surface, and if that surface is rough in nature, and if the body is in a position to move, that means बॉडी डिस्प्लेस होने ही वाला है. वो कैसे डिस्प्लेस होगा? जब आप उस पर लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन का जब आप उस पर लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन अप्लाई करोगे, लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स अप्लाई करोगे, एंड दैट फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स डिपेंड अपॉन the nature of the surface in contact, and that surface can be rough in nature, it can be smooth in nature. If it is smooth in nature, then friction normally does not exist. If it exists also, the value of the friction will be, or coefficient of friction will be very small. And if the surface is rough in nature, definitely friction will exist and the value of coefficient of friction will be large in nature. Any doubt till the third point? कोई doubt है किसी को? Hello.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Next law, that is the fourth law, is what? At low velocities between sliding surfaces, the frictional force is practically independent of the velocity. However, slight reduction in friction occurs when the speeds are high. That means if we are having two sliding surfaces, that means you can take one inclined plane is there, on that inclined plane one block is there. If the block slides on that inclined plane with very low velocity, there may be two conditions: either the block is sliding up and down the inclined plane with low velocity, or it is sliding down and up the inclined plane with high velocity. So when the velocity is low, then the friction force is independent of the velocity. That means if the body is sliding down the inclined plane very slowly, definitely there will be no role of friction. There will be very less role of friction will be there. However, if the velocity of sliding is very high, then the body will slide down the inclined plane very quickly. At that time, friction will also be very high. This is the fourth law. And what is the fifth law? Fifth law is the friction acts tangential to the surface in contact and is in the direction opposite to that in which the motion is to impend. That means if I am having a body, if this body is placed on a rough surface, and say this body is moving in this direction, then according to fifth law, frictional force always act tangential to the surface in contact. If you see this problem, in this problem, this is the surface in contact, this is the surface in contact, that is, this is the surface in contact. Fine. So if the motion of the body is in this direction, then frictional force will be in opposite direction of the motion of the body, and that too it will act tangentially at the point of contact. That means at this point of contact, this will be the frictional force F. This is your fifth law. Is it clear, all these five laws? Any doubt in these laws? क्या कोई डाउट है किसी को? Hello.
No, sir. No, doubt.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get any response from the electrical people? क्या कोई, if there is any doubt or not? कोई doubt
No,
है
sir,
किसी?
no doubt.
Okay, thank you. So these are the different laws of friction. Next comes the angle of friction. It is very important. This angle of friction and angle of repose from numerical point of view. So let us understand what is angle of friction. So in order to understand what is angle of friction, let us consider a situation. That situation is, I am having a block, and this block is placed on a rough horizontal surface. Assume that this block is moving in this direction, and if I draw the free body diagram of the block, then the free body diagram of the block will be somewhat like this: weight of the block acting vertically downward from the center of gravity of the body. The block is in contact with this rough surface. This rough surface will give a normal reaction to this block in upward direction, that will be vertically upward from the center of gravity. This is your normal reaction, say n. And since the body is moving in this direction, so a frictional force will exist between the contacting point of the body and this surface, and that frictional force will be in tangential direction in this direction. That means this will be the frictional force direction, say capital F. Fine. So what is angle of friction? Angle of friction is defined by, now I know that this is my N, this is my normal reaction force N, and this is my frictional force F. if you want to take, say, if I take the resultant of normal reaction N and frictional force F, how I can get the resultant? For that I have to apply the parallelogram law, because I know that if there are two forces and if those two forces are originating from a common point, then the resultant of those two forces are given by parallelogram law. So in order to draw the parallelogram, what I will do, from this force I will draw a horizontal straight line of length equal to F force, and from this force F end I will draw a vertical line of magnitude equal to N. Now this becomes a parallelogram. Fine. So resultant will be the longest diagonal. That means this will be the resultant. This will be the resultant. Say this resultant is nothing but R. Fine. Say the resultant R is making an angle phi, with the normal reaction force N. Then this angle phi is known as angle of friction. What is angle of friction? Angle of friction is the angle made between the resultant of frictional force and normal reaction with the normal reaction. That means angle made between resultant R, and this resultant R is of F and N, with N. If it is making, then that phi is known as angle of friction. आया समझ में? What is angle of friction? Any doubt? क्या कोई डाउट है किसी को एंगल ऑफ फ्रिक्शन में?
No, sir.
I want one response from mechanical fellow and one response from electrical person. Then I will understood that yes, you have understood the concept.
Yes, sir.
No doubt, sir.
Okay,
No,
fine.
sir, no doubt.
So this is your angle of friction. Now physically we have defined what is angle of friction. That is, it is the angle between the resultant of frictional force and normal reaction with the normal reaction of the body. Fine. Now mathematically let us define what is angle of friction. For that what I will do is, let us consider this triangle. Let us consider this triangle. If I take this triangle, this angle is phi, then definitely this is my perpendicular and definitely this is my base. So if I write tan phi is what? Perpendicular by base, and this perpendicular value is nothing but F, frictional force F, that is F divided by base. Base is nothing but N. So I can write tan phi is equal to F by N. From the law of friction, I know that frictional force F is what? Frictional force F is nothing but mu times of N. So I can write tan phi is equal to mu times of N divided by N. N cancel out each other. Finally, the expression becomes tan phi is equal to mu. Or mathematically, I can define that angle of friction phi is nothing but it is the tan inverse of coefficient of friction mu. Two definitions are there. One is the physical definition and second one is the mathematical definition, which is nothing but equation number A. Any doubt in equation number A? कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, 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 no,
कहाँ से
no.
आया tan phi equal to mu? Fine. Okay. So this is all about angle of friction phi. Next is angle of repose alpha. What is angle of repose alpha? In order to understand the concept of angle of repose alpha, let us take a situation. That situation is, I am having an inclined plane. I am having an inclined plane. Say the angle of inclined plane is nothing but alpha. And this inclined plane is rough in nature. If the inclined plane is rough in nature, then definitely friction will exist between the contacting surfaces, now on this inclined plane, let us keep a body. This is a body. Let this body is sliding down the inclined plane. That means motion of the body is in this direction. Fine. Now let us draw the free body diagram of this body. weight of the body will act vertically downward from the center of the gravity. This body is kept on this inclined plane. So this inclined plane will give a normal reaction to this body in this direction. This is that normal reaction N. Fine. Since the motion of this body is in downward direction of the inclined plane, then the frictional force will be opposite to the direction of motion of the body at the point of contact. That means this will be the friction force F. So this is your frictional force F. Fine. Okay, let us denote this normal reaction by R. Fine. Okay. Then this friction force is F. And I know this value of friction force F is how much? It is nothing but mu times of normal reaction. That is mu times of normal reaction is nothing but R. Now what is angle of repose? Let us assume that the value of alpha is very small. If the value of alpha is very small, say this is the condition of the inclined plane. If you increase the value of alpha after some interval of time, this is the condition of inclined plane. Again, if you increase the value of alpha after some interval of time, say this is the condition of inclined plane alpha. Fine. So now you tell me, if I keep the angle of inclined plane very small, will the body slide down the inclined plane? Yes or no? Or if I make the angle of inclination alpha very high, then only the body will slide. I am giving you two condition. फर्स्ट कंडीशन में क्या है, अल्फा बहुत छोटा है. अगर अल्फा बहुत छोटा है तो क्या बॉडी स्लाइड करेगा इंक्लाइंड प्लेन से? पहला कंडीशन. दूसरा कंडीशन, अगर अल्फा बड़ा है तब बॉडी स्लाइड करेगा. किस कंडीशन में बॉडी स्लाइड करेगा? जब अल्फा छोटा होगा तब स्लाइड करेगा, या जब अल्फा बड़ा होगा तब स्लाइड करेगा?
When the alpha will be more.
Yes, very
Alpha
good,
will move.
very good, very good. बिकॉज अल्फा, जितना अल्फा बड़ा होगा उतना आपका इंक्लाइंड प्लेन क्या होगा? इंक्लाइंड प्लेन स्ट्रेट होते जाएगा, तो फ्रिक्शन कम होते जाएगा. फ्रिक्शन कम होगा तो बॉडी जल्दी से स्लाइड करेगा. सो व्हाट इज एंगल ऑफ रिपोज? एंगल ऑफ रिपोज अल्फा इज दैट वैल्यू ऑफ एंगल अल्फा when the body is tend to slide. That means जब बॉडी स्लाइडिंग करने के पोजीशन पे आ जाएगा, दैट मीन्स बॉडी विल बी इन अ पोजीशन दैट, अब आप एंगल जैसे मान लो अल्फा मान लो 14 डिग्री, ठीक है, 14 डिग्री पे बॉडी स्लाइड नहीं किया, लेकिन आपने अप्लाई कर दिया 14.1 डिग्री. तो जैसे ही आपने 14.1 डिग्री किया, बॉडी नीचे आ गया. सो दैट 14.1 degree is nothing but your angle of repose. Now I am reading the definition, that it is the angle alpha of the inclined plane at which a block resting on it is about to slide down the plane. That means वो वैल्यू अल्फा का जिस पे बॉडी तुरंत स्लाइड हो जाएगा इंक्लाइंड प्लेन से. अल्फा इक्वल टू 14 डिग्री, बॉडी स्लाइड नहीं किया. अल्फा इक्वल टू 15 डिग्री, बॉडी स्लाइड नहीं किया. अल्फा इक्वल टू 15.1 डिग्री, बॉडी स्लाइड किया. That means that alpha equal to 15.1 degree is my angle of repose. Understood the concept of angle of repose? कोई डाउट किसी को? Any doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, I want response from the electrical people also. Please respond. Hello, one of you please
Okay,
respond. Okay, so fine. Now mathematically, angle of friction phi is always equal to angle of repose. How it is coming equal? That we have to prove it. Mathematically, angle of friction phi is equal to angle of repose. So in order to prove that relation, what I will do is, so this is the free body diagram. This is the free body diagram of this body which is kept on an inclined plane. Now you can assume that this direction is your x direction and this direction is your y direction. So if I write the equations of equilibrium for this body, that is summation fx equal to 0, summation fy equal to 0, what I can get? If I write summation Fy equal to 0, then this W will have two component. This component is your W cos alpha, and this component will be your W sin alpha, because this angle is alpha. So if I write summation Fy equal to 0, I can write plus R minus W cos alpha equal to 0, or I can write R is equal to W cos alpha, which is equation number 1. Any doubt? कोई डाउट है किसी को इक्वेशन नंबर 1 में? Summation Fy equal to 0.
No, sir. No doubts.
Normal reaction R is in positive y-axis and W cos alpha is in negative y-axis. कोई और force नहीं है, so my equation becomes R minus W cos alpha equal to 0, or R is equal to W cos alpha, which is equation number 1. अब करते हैं summation fx equal to 0. तो अगर summation fx equal to 0 आप करोगे तो क्या होगा? That is minus W sin alpha, because it is in negative x direction, minus W sin alpha plus F, plus this frictional force F, which is in positive x direction. So I can write F minus W sin alpha equal to 0, or I can write F is equal to W sin alpha. F is the frictional force, which is nothing but mu into R. So I can write mu into R is equal to W sin alpha, which is equation number 2. कोई डाउट किसी को इक्वेशन नंबर 2 में?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, anyone from electrical, if you can respond. अभी तक जो मैंने बोला किसी कुछ डाउट है कि नहीं वहाँ इसमें? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so now what I am doing is I am doing, or I am dividing equation number 2 by 1. That means what I am doing? I am doing 2 divided by 1. If I do, what I will get? I will get, that is W sin alpha divided by W cos alpha equal to mu into R divided by R. W you can cancel out, R you can cancel out. Finally, sin by cos you can write tan alpha. Tan alpha is equal to mu. Equation number B. Now compare equation A and B. Now compare equation A and B. Equation A is tan phi is equal to mu. Equation B is tan alpha equal to mu. That means right hand side is same. So we can equate in place of mu from equation number A. I can write tan phi. So finally, when you will equate equation A and B, you will get tan phi is equal to tan alpha, or you can write phi is equal to alpha. That means angle of friction is always equal to angle of repose when the body which is kept in an inclined plane tends to move. So phi is equal to alpha. कोई डाउट किसी को यहाँ तक?
No, sir, no doubt.
Fine. Okay. This is an important relation. You should keep in mind this relation. Okay. Next. Next is you can see that in this slide 3 figures are there. So let us identify what are these 3 figures. In the first figure, that means I am talking about this figure. Which figure? I am talking about this particular figure. Okay. In this figure, there is a ball. Ball, you can say a ball or a wheel, whatever you want to say. A ball is there. This ball is kept on a horizontal rough surface. On this ball, force P is applied. On this ball, a force P is applied in such a way that it is making, say, some angle theta. Say some angle theta. Definitely this theta will be equal to this theta. Weight of this ball is W, which is acting vertically downwards from its center of gravity. Since the ball is in contact with this horizontal surface will give a normal reaction to this ball in upward direction. That normal reaction is nothing but R. Due to this inclined force P, due to this inclined force P, what is happening? The ball will move in this direction. Due to this inclined force P, the ball will move in this direction. Fine. So if the motion of the ball is in this direction, then at the point of contact, identify what is the direction of frictional force. Frictional force will be in this direction. That means it is, that means the law is valid. Which law? Law of friction. That is, frictional force always act opposite to the direction of motion of the body. Direction of motion is this direction, and frictional force is acting in this direction. In this problem, the law of friction is valid. Okay, any doubt? क्या कोई डाउट है इस फिगर में?
No, sir.
Okay, if I consider the third figure, थर्ड फिगर में लॉ ऑफ फ्रिक्शन वैलिड नहीं होगा. देखो कैसे नहीं होगा. Let us consider the third figure. That means I am talking about this figure. I am talking about this figure. Observe the situation very carefully. Observe the situation very carefully. Same ball. It is kept on this horizontal surface. Weight of the ball is capital W, which is acting vertically downwards from its center of gravity. The surface will give a normal reaction to this ball in upward direction from its center of gravity, that is nothing but capital R. But the difference is, in the first figure you have applied an inclined force P, और इस force P की वजह से ball इस direction में move कर रहा था. Fine. But in the third case, I am not applying any kind of force. What I am applying, I am giving a moment to this ball. I know, I have told you in the first module that moment produces a rotation in a body. Moment creates a rotation in a body. Moments make a body to rotate about some fixed point. Fine. So if you apply a moment to this ball, how you can apply? How you can apply? So say if you apply a force in this direction, this is the direction of force F P, and if you take this distance, this, because I know that moment is what, force into perpendicular distance from the point of application of force. So so this is the point of application of force. Perpendicular distance I am taking from the center of gravity of this ball. Say this distance is R, P into R. P into R will create a clockwise moment, will create a clockwise moment on this ball. Then the ball will rotate. Here the ball is rotating also, and since the ball is rotating in clockwise direction, so the motion of the ball will be in this direction. Motion of the ball will be in this direction, but I am not applying this force P. Fine. Here, see, here physically you are applying an external force P on this ball, but here I am applying a moment on this ball. That means ball is rotating due to this moment. Fine. Okay, so when the ball is rotating, when the ball is rotating, observe the point of contact. This is the point of contact. This is the point of contact. Fine. And I have applied a clockwise moment. So at the point of contact, direction of moment is in this direction. Direction of moment is in this direction. What I know from the law of friction, I know that frictional force always act tangential at the point of contact, as well as it will act in the opposite direction to the motion of the body. Now the motion of the body is due to moment, and that moment is clockwise in nature. So at the point of contact, the direction of frictional force will be in this direction, will be in this direction. See, now see here, motion of the body is also in this direction, and frictional force is also in this direction. By looking at the figure, you can say that law of friction is not valid. But if you look into the concept, the law of friction is valid. This is the difference between this figure and this figure. I hope I have made myself clear. क्या कोई डाउट है किसी को इन दोनों फिगर में? फर्स्ट फिगर में फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स अपोजिट लग रहा है, थर्ड फिगर में फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स सेम डायरेक्शन में लग रहा है जिस डायरेक्शन में मोशन हो रहा है. क्यों हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, आपको क्लियर होना चाहिए. एनी डाउट? कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, anyone from electrical department, if you can respond. Anyone from electrical department, if you can respond.
No, sir.
ओके फाइन. तो याद रखना, पहले आप प्रॉब्लम को देखना कि प्रॉब्लम में मोमेंट बोला गया है या अलग से एक्सटर्नल लोड अप्लाई हुआ है. इफ इन अ प्रॉब्लम external force is acting, then accordingly you should know what is the free body diagram and how frictional force will act. But if a body is subjected to a moment, then the direction of frictional force will be along the direction of motion of the body. Okay, fine. नेक्स्ट इज द सेकेंड फिगर. अब आप सेकेंड फिगर को ध्यान से देखो और मुझे बोलो फाइन कि सेकेंड फिगर में क्या कहीं पे फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स लगेगा. इन द सेकेंड फिगर will there be frictional force between the point of contact of the body and the surface? Yes or no? मैंने आपको फर्स्ट कंडीशन बता दिया, मैंने आपको थर्ड
No,
कंडीशन
sir.
बता दिया. आप सेकेंड फिगर को ऑब्जर्व करो ध्यान से, आप 2 मिनट ले लो ऑब्जर्व करके, देन यू लेट मी नो that whether friction will act or it won't act. If it will act, why it will act. If it won't act, why it won't act. बताओ, मेरे हिसाब से आपको बता देना चाहिए अभी तक. सेकेंड फिगर है,
Sir, no friction force.
assume that you are having a bike. बाइक का जो व्हील है, ठीक है, एंड यू आर से यू आर राइडिंग दैट बाइक इन अ डेजर्ट. डेजर्ट में क्या रहता है, डेजर्ट में सैंड रहता है पूरा, ठीक है. आप सैंड में बाइक चलाओ, क्या आप चला पाओगे बाइक? सैंड में आप क्या बाइक चला पाओगे? हेलो,
No, sir.
नहीं चला पाऊंगा. क्यों नहीं चला पाऊंगा? अगर आप एक्सेलरेटर को बढ़ाओगे तो व्हाट विल हैपन, आपका व्हील घूमेगा, आपका जो चक्का है वो बहुत तेजी से घूमेगा, बिकॉज फ्रिक्शन बिटवीन द wheel of the bike and the sand particle is negligible. क्या होगा यही. अब जितना ज्यादा एक्सेलरेटर दोगे, आपका जो व्हील है वो क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में घूमेगा और सैंड को पीछे की तरफ ढकेलेगा. अगर सैंड पीछे की तरफ नहीं जाता, तब आपका जो बाइक है वो आगे की तरफ मूव करेगा, तब कॉन्टैक्टिंग सरफेस पे फ्रिक्शन लगेगा, देन द बॉडी विल मूव. क्योंकि सैंड पीछे की तरफ फेंक रहा है, दैट मीन्स देयर इज नो फ्रिक्शन बिटवीन द व्हील ऑफ योर बाइक एंड दैट सैंड सरफेस. So this is your second condition. This is the second diagram. So these are the three differences in these. In the first diagram, frictional force act opposite to the direction of motion of the body. In the third diagram, frictional force acts in the direction of motion of the body. In the third diagram, there is no frictional force present at the contacting surfaces. तो ये तीन डिफरेंस है तीन डायग्राम में. आई होप अभी आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. एनी डाउट? कोई डाउट है किसी
No,
को?
sir, no doubt.
Okay, fine. So I don't think enough time is left. It is already 12:18 p.m. So what I will do is I will end this lecture over here itself. We will again meet on Saturday around from 6 p.m. we will meet, and that Google Meet link I will give in the Google Classroom. Till then, thank you. If you are having any kind of doubt, you may ask, or else after giving your attendance, you may leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.